Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, we're going to be talking through some player props I like on Prizepicks for today's MLB slate on Sunday, June the 29th. We got a full slate of games here on Sunday, and as per usual on MLB Sundays, pretty much all the games today do start early. There's like one Sunday night baseball game, but most of the games today are from like 12 o'clock to 4 o'clock Eastern time. So, definitely wanted to get this video out the night before. I'm recording this video on Saturday night. Going to give you guys some early plays I like. Taking a first look at the board on Saturday night, and we're going to break down these plays. We're going to share why I like them. Now, before we do get started, guys, make sure to hit that like button down below if you enjoy these Prizepicks videos. Make sure to hit that subscribe button as well. And if you guys are new to the channel, if you are new to Prizepicks, if you don't have a Prizepicks account, make sure to sign up. Use that promo code NOAH when you do sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code and play your first $5 lineup. You're going to get $50 instantly added to your account. So this is an easy way to start to build up your bankroll on Prizepicks. Again, make sure to use that code NOAH if you have not signed up yet. And then we do also have a partnership with Sleeper, so I want to shout out Sleeper as well. If you guys don't have an account over on Sleeper, you can sign up, download their app, use promo code NOAH, and you'll get your first deposit matched up to $100. So whatever you put in on that first deposit, Sleeper will match it up to $100. If you want to put in $100, they will give you an additional $100 to play with. So now you got a $200 bankroll to work with, and you can hopefully use the money that Sleeper gives you and start to build up your bankroll on Sleeper. And if you guys don't know what Sleeper is, they're just a DFS pick'em app, very similar to Prizepicks, where you pick more or less on player projections. You build out your lineup. You can do up to an 8-pick lineup on Sleeper, win up to 100 extra money. You can mix and match sports, and Sleeper does offer a ton of discounts and a ton of promotions throughout the weeks. They're always giving out discounted player props, payout boosts, multiplier boosts, protected plays. There's other stuff they give out too. Like, they're always doing discounts in the app. So download that Sleeper app, guys. And again, make sure to use promo code NOAH if you have not signed up for Sleeper yet. But let's go ahead and talk about some plays here for this Sunday slate. Now, I do want to recap our plays from our video on Saturday before we talk through our plays for today. So we give out 3 picks Saturday, and once again, we went 2-1. So we hit 2 of our 3 plays. We did miss a play, though, unfortunately. The 2 props that did hit were the 2 pitcher props that we took. Clark Schmidt over 5.5 strikeouts. Bailey over 4.5 strikeouts. Both of those plays hit for us. Unfortunately, the hitter prop that we took on Elly De La Cruz over 7.5 fantasy, that one did not come through for us. But man, I love that spot for Elly De La Cruz. Felt like it was a great spot for him against Randy Vasquez. You can go back and watch the video if you want to and see all the reasoning why I took the play. But it didn't work out. Elly De La Cruz got 5 at-bats. I think he got 2 walks, but that was pretty much it. He just got walked twice. Didn't score any runs, didn't get an RBI or anything, didn't steal any bases. So super unfortunate. I think the Reds wound up scoring like 4 or 5 runs too, I think. Maybe. I can't remember, honestly, like 3 or 4 runs. And yeah, De La Cruz just wasn't really contributing much in that game. It is what it is. You're not going to hit every single play. We've still been crushing with our MLB plays. Last 25 picks we've given out on this channel, we've hit 20 of our last 25 MLB picks, individual plays. So, I mean, we're hitting our plays at like an 80% clip right now, which is just insane. So, even on the days where we go, 2-3, hopefully you guys are still making some money. Remember, you don't have to always power play. I know there's people people go into the comments like when a play misses, they're super frustrated. Like, if losing a power play makes you that mad, then do a flex play. Be more conservative or lower your unit size. Play less money if you get that mad when you lose a lineup. Because if you do a flex play and you miss a play on a 3-pick, you still get your money back. So you play more conservative if that's how you want to go. But I know there's going to be people every day that I could give out 10 plays and one of them will miss, and there's going to be people that complain. Like, that's just how it is in this business, unfortunately. But I'm still going to give you guys the plays I like every day. Hopefully we'll have some more sweeps moving forward. Been close the last few days, 2-1 on Saturday, 2-1 on Friday, but let's try and get back to a 3-0 sweep here today for Sunday. So we got 2 hitter props for today, and then we have a pitcher prop that I'm liking. So the first 2 props I like are the hitter props, and the first one we're going to talk about is Jose Ramirez. We're going to take for more than 6.5 hitter fantasy score. So Jose Ramirez is a switch hitter. He bats left-handed and he bats right-handed, and his splits are much better versus left-handed pitching. If you actually look this season, Jose Ramirez versus left-handed pitching, 381 batting average versus right-handed pitching, 291 batting average. So big difference there. And then if you look at some of his more advanced stats against left-handed pitching, 426 on base percentage, 536 slug, 961 OPS, 164 WRC plus. Versus right-handed pitching, 359 on base percentage, which is about 70 points lower than what it is versus left-handed pitching. 505 slug, which is about 30 points lower. 864 OPS, which is about 100 points lower. And then his WRC plus is 23 points lower versus right-handed pitching than it is versus left-handed pitching. So pretty much all his splits this season have been better versus left-handed pitching than right-handed pitching. And for his career, Jose Ramirez has been better versus left-handed pitching than right-handed pitching. So I like this matchup for him against a left-handed pitcher going up against Matthew Liberatore. Matthew Liberatore going to be pitching for the Cardinals here. Liberatore has not been bad this season. Like, he's been okay. He's got a 3.96 ERA, a 3.69 expected ERA. He's been a solid pitcher. Doesn't really walk a lot of batters. Doesn't really get a lot of strikeouts, though. Only a 20% strikeout rate. But he does struggle a little bit more with right-handed hitters. So if you're going to attack Liberatore, you want to do it with righties. And obviously, Jose Ramirez will be batting from the right side today, going up against a lefty. This season against right-handed hitters, righties are hitting 271 off of Liberatore with a 290 on-base percentage, 418 slug. So I do like the spot a lot for Jose Ramirez. I think this line's a little bit low on him just because he's been somewhat in a slump lately. He's had some offers in some recent games, but like I said, his splits versus left-handed pitching have been so good this season. Like this matchup for him against Matthew Liberatore, who's also been worse against righties. We're going to take Jose Ramirez more than 6.5 hitter fantasy score as our first play for today. Now the next play that we're going to take is another hitter fantasy score, and I'm liking Cal Raleigh. We're going to take Cal Raleigh for more than 5.5 hitter fantasy score. So I was really surprised at this line. Cal Raleigh is typically a guy that his fantasy score line is like 7.5 most games, sometimes 8.5, sometimes higher depending on the situation. And then sometimes his lines can be lower if he's facing like a really good pitcher, like an ace. But today he's going to be facing Jack Leiter, who's going to be pitching for the Rangers here. They have these lines set like Cal Raleigh's going to be facing Jacob deGrom, but he's not facing Jacob deGrom today. He's facing Jack Leiter. So I think this is a good spot for Cal Raleigh. I think we're getting a low line on him just for whatever reason. I don't know why. I mean, you look, he's got if you search up his name and look at all his props, he's got a 1.5 total bases line. It's pretty rare to see a hitter with a 1.5 total bases even line and their fantasy score line only be 5.5. Like, if you were to go and look at all the hitters that had like a 1.5 total bases line that was like an even line, so like Aaron Judge. Obviously, Aaron Judge and Kyle Raleigh are different type of players. Aaron Judge gets walked a lot, but like Aaron Judge's fantasy score line is set at 9.5 or 8.5 for today, and he has a 1.5 total bases line. Who else? If there's anyone else I could find real quick, I could show you, but you get the point. And as the board, as we get more players on the board, you could take a look at this for yourself. So like Heliot Ramos, his total bases, he's got a 1.5 even line for total bases, and then if we actually take a look at his fantasy score, I think his fantasy score line is 6.5. Yeah, 6.5. So like 5.5 is really low for Cal Raleigh. Obviously, Cal Raleigh he's not really going to steal many bases. I mean, he does have 9 stolen bases this year, which is really surprising for a catcher. Typically, catchers don't have much speed. Typically, catchers don't steal bases. But Cal Raleigh does have 9 stolen bases this year, so maybe he can steal some bases here. It's a possibility. He will take a lot of walks, which is good. He does have a really high walk rate this season, 95th percentile, and walk percentage, 14.2%. So it's not like we need Cal Raleigh to go out there and hit a home run. Obviously, we would love for him to hit a home run, but he could get a single, score a run, get a walk, and that would be 7 fantasy points. There's a lot of ways that Cal Raleigh could get 6 fantasy points here. Just think the matchup's good for him as well against Jack Leiter. Now, Jack Leiter this season has actually been better against left-handed hitters than he has against right-handed hitters. Lefties this season are only hitting 193 off of Jack Leiter with a 292 on-base percentage, 316 slug. So he's actually been a reverse splits pitcher. But if we look last season, Leiter was a lot worse against lefties last season. 270 average, 360 on-base percentage, 486 slug. So I don't want to say that, Jack Leiter is suddenly going to be a good pitcher against lefties, because we saw last season that was not the case. He didn't pitch very well against lefties last year, didn't pitch well against righties either. And so far this season, I mean, he's kind of just been an average pitcher. He's got a 4.55 ERA, and his expected ERA is 5.16. So he's actually gotten a little bit lucky to have a 4.55 ERA. He's actually due for some negative regression. You look at some of his other stats as well, like not a guy that has a lot of strikeout stuff. His strikeout rate this year is just 18.3%. Has a really high walk rate, like he walks a lot of batters, 11.5% walk rate. So that's good for Cal Raleigh, who, like we said, will take a lot of walks. And then barrel percentage, he's given up a lot of barrels, 11.4%. Giving up some hard hits, 42.5% hard hit percentage. So I think this is a good spot for the Mariners to put up some runs here. Don't love the ballpark, in Texas. Texas's ballpark is a ballpark that does play pretty pitcher friendly, but that's the case for Cal Raleigh in a lot of his games because he plays a lot of his games in Seattle, which is one of the best pitchers' parks. He's kind of used to it at this point. But I do like this matchup for him, and I think we're getting a lower line on him than what we typically would see on Cal Raleigh. Typically, his fantasy score line is like 7.5. I think 5.5 in this matchup against Jack Leiter is definitely too low. So that's our second play for today, and then our third and final prop is a pitching outs prop. And we're going to take Eduardo Rodriguez for more than 17.5 pitching outs. So pretty much what we're doing here is we're betting on Eduardo Rodriguez to pitch at least 6 innings. Because if he goes 6 innings, that's 18 pitching outs. Pretty self-explanatory. And if we look at his last few starts, he's gone at least 6 innings now in 3 of his last 4 starts. The one start where he didn't was against Toronto, which was a tough matchup. Toronto's a pretty good offense against left-handed pitching. Toronto's a team that doesn't strike out a lot. They put balls in play. They kind of can work some counts. Well, now Eduardo Rodriguez is going to be facing the Marlins, who this season, the Marlins are tied with the Astros for the fewest pitches per plate appearance. So what that means is basically the Marlins are an offense. They will swing early in counts. Like they'll put balls in play, and when you swing early in counts, that's going to lead to quicker outs because, when you're just, if you're swinging out the first pitch, there's a good chance that you're going to record an out if the ball gets put in play. Obviously, then they could put the ball in play and get hits and score runs. But if you're putting the ball in play quickly, early in counts, that's going to lead to quicker outs for Eduardo Rodriguez. What we don't want is Eduardo Rodriguez having to throw 8, 9, 10 pitches to one batter just to get one batter out, because that's what runs up his pitch count. And when you run up your pitch count, you just can't go deep into the game. Typically, most pitchers throw between like 90 to 95 pitches in most starts, but some pitchers get longer leashes and can throw over 100 pitches. Some pitchers have shorter leashes and might only throw like 80, 85 pitches. Eduardo Rodriguez has had a pretty decent leash as of late. Obviously, he's gone at least 6 innings in 3 of his last 4 starts. If we look at his pitch count in those starts, I want to say he's had back-to-back starts now where he's thrown at least 90 pitches. In his last start against the White Sox, where he went 6 innings, did have 92 pitches in that start. Against Toronto, he only went 4 2/3, but he did throw 98 pitches against Toronto. Against Seattle, he threw 81 pitches, was really efficient, went 6 1/3 on 81 pitches. This start against Cincinnati, it says he went 7 innings, but I'm seeing 5 innings, so I think that actually is wrong on Prizepicks. So actually, that's my mistake. He did not go. I don't think he went 7 innings against Toronto or against Cincinnati, unless Prizepicks has. Or I'm looking at incorrect data, but I'm seeing against Cincinnati that Eduardo Rodriguez went 5 innings. Don't know who's right, whether it's Prizepicks or the other sites that I'm looking at. But his leash has been growing lately. Like his last 2 starts, he's thrown 92 and 98 pitches. His starts before that, he was only throwing like 76, 72, 81. But he also didn't really pitch that well in a lot of those starts. Assuming he pitches well here against the Marlins and doesn't get blown up, I think he's got a pretty good chance to at least pitch into the 6th inning, where obviously we'll need him to get through the 6th inning. But if he gets through 5 innings and he's at like 80, 85 pitches, I think there's a pretty good chance they're going to let him go out there for the 6th inning, assuming he's not giving up like a bunch of runs. And if we look at his odds for today, like in terms of his runs allowed, I think his runs allowed line is set at 1.5. It's set at 2.5 right now, but it's a demon line. So basically, he's favored to go under 2.5 runs allowed. And if he doesn't give up like more than 3 runs, I think there's a pretty good chance he's pitching deep into the game. Like if you look at his starts this season where he's given up less than 3 runs, he actually faced Miami earlier this season, went 5 1/3, so he didn't quite get through 6 innings, allowed 10 hits, 1 run, had 9 strikeouts through 93 pitches. He did allow, he allowed 2 runs to Cincinnati, went 5 innings in that start. His last start against the White Sox allowed no runs, went 6 innings. Did allow only 1 run to the Blue Jays and only went 4 2/3 in that start. But like we said, the Blue Jays are a patient team that works count, so it kind of makes sense for him to not be able to pitch deep in that start. But he did go 6 1/3 against Seattle, allowed 2 runs. So like a lot of his starts this year where he's allowed like 2 runs or less, he's been able to consistently pitch deep into games or deep into those starts. And like I said, he's favored for under 2.5 runs allowed. The Marlins offense as a whole, not a great offense. I think this season versus left-handed pitching, the Marlins rank below league average in most offensive metrics, average, on-base percentage, WRC plus, like all those stats. So I think this is actually a pretty decent matchup for Eduardo Rodriguez. He's been getting a longer leash lately. If he throws over 90 pitches here, I think we got a pretty good chance of him getting through 6 innings, getting us 18 outs in this spot. So I like Eduardo Rodriguez for more than 17.5 pitching outs is our third and final prop for today. So we got 3 plays here for today on Sunday. It's a big slate. Obviously, typically on Sundays we have full slates, 15 games. That's the case today. It is Sunday, so that means a lot of the games are going to be early. Pretty much all the games today are early afternoon games. So I'm recording this video on Saturday night, giving you guys a preview of some props I like looking at the board the night before. But as always, I will share more Prizepicks plays for today. I do give those out every day over on Patreon. So if you guys want to check out the Patreon, you want to see more Prizepicks plays from me, check that out. It's linked down below in the description. But good luck as always, guys. Appreciate your support on these Prizepicks videos. Make sure to hit that like button before you get out of here. Hit that subscribe button as well. And if you guys don't have an account on Prizepicks, use that promo code NOAH. Get your $50 in promo funds instantly when you play your first $5 lineup and sign up with that promo code NOAH, so that way you get access to that promotion. But good luck, guys. Let's win some money tonight, and I will see you in the next video.